flame weapons he's producing, apparently.
For real. All right. Well, that is it for our gaming news and discussion. We are moving on to the question and answer. These questions were collected by the bot during the episode. So we have 2 questions here. First and foremost, from Rock Lobster Streams. How did you guys get awesome? Practice.
I was born this way.
Lots of car accidents and booze.
Yes. And maple leaves.
Lots of Tim Hortons.
Yeah.
A whole lot of Timmy's here, bud.
A lot of fucking up. That's how.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Truth.
Last question from Conbot. What are the benefits / cons of building a PC, and what are the benefits / cons of getting pre-built?
Ooh, can I go first?
Yes, you may.
Okay, so I'm glad you asked this question because this is something that I went back and forth with for a long time when I first was getting into streaming. And the reason was I knew nothing about building computers. I knew plenty about applications and stuff. I knew nothing. I'd never built a computer. I'd never done anything really hardware related on a computer. So I was very nervous about getting a bunch of pieces and putting it together. And eventually what someone told me is the same thing I'm going to tell you. You buy a pre-built. There are some things that you might be able to get a really good deal, and I'm not shitting on pre-builds. There's been, even with my most recent build, I was even possibly even going to go that way. However, if you build a computer yourself, in 95% of the time, you're probably going to be able to get a computer that you want for cheaper than you would have gotten it pre-built. That's the biggest thing, you know. So if budget is a concern, which I imagine it is for most people that want a computer, you know, you got to consider that. The other thing is, a lot of times in pre-built, like, they're going to focus on things like the CPU and the graphics card and maybe the RAM or whatever. But a lot of the other parts, you might get a decent case. A lot of the other parts, like the motherboard's not going to be that great on a lot of pre-builts. Sometimes the RAM is not that good. You don't really know what you're getting. You know, I mean, yeah, you know the main components, but the power source might be shitty. The whatever. I mean, if you're making it yourself, you know exactly what's going into that thing. And I am by no means, in fact, compared to all these guys that are sitting here, the reason I wanted to answer first, I probably know the least about computers hardware-wise than any of these guys that is on the podcast. I'm a relative newbie to the whole, you know, PC master race, so to speak. But I can tell you, as someone who has been a console guy for his whole life, I think there's a lot more pros than cons than building your own. And even if you know a lot about computers, I mean, shoot, pre-builts, there's some stuff. If you're gonna buy a really good pre-built, though, you're probably gonna pay out the nose for it, though, because I was looking at the the NXT build, NZXT build, yeah, NZXT build, and to build the same computer that I have now through them was going to cost nearly $1,000 more.
Ooh.
Okay. And I mean, and I couldn't even get some of the same stuff on it. So if money is no option, you can go the pre-built route and get something good. If money is if you're talking about trying to save money and also get the best parts you can get for your buck, you're probably better off building it yourself. So,
yep.
Anyway, that's all I got.
I always just bring it down to cash. And anybody can build a fucking computer. I built the first computer I ever built when I was like 8. You can figure it out. There's a shitload of information online. There's a shit ton of people that know what they're talking about. You can go on YouTube right now and search for DIY PC build, and you're going to get 1.5 billion fucking videos. You know, Newegg does a new series every 3 years where they put out a new DIY of building a computer from scratch. I mean, all the information's out there. All the all the customizable pieces that are outside of just performance, they're not going to happen, because the moment you crack the case on a fucking pre-built, your warranty's gone. So you've totally voided the only fucking reason that you got it in the first place. Like, if you have no intentions of ever working on base level software, OS, changing out hardware, shit like that, buy a pre-built. Don't touch it. Let it run until it fucking blows up, and then tell them to fix it. I have no problem with people doing that. But like Jimmy said, you're going to pay for it in most cases, especially with the rise and fall of fucking GPU prices. Because for a while there, NZXT was a really good option because the GPUs were so high on the private market. But now that they're back down, you're just as well off buying your own shit. So
Well, and to jump off what you just said too, and something I saw in chat, and they were talking about price, and people were like, "Oh, well, cable management, this or that." If you buy the right case, cable management's simple.
Very.
Like,
yeah, my case is fucking gigantic.
if you have and it doesn't even have to be the biggest case. And this is not an ad, but I think you have the same case as myself as for one of your PCs, Knackers. That's got the glass. It's like one of the NZXT
340.
Yeah. This S340 Elite. I mean, It is a snap to manage cables in that thing. And that was always something people said to worry about. Oh, cable management. It's so easy. And I'm a noob. I don't do this for a living. I'm not a computer guy. It is so easy now to build your own computer that it's not a concern. If you can read instructions and follow YouTube videos, you're going to be just fine.
Do your research.
I think the other thing, I don't know, to me, when you're ordering a pre-built computer, and if you get that computer and then never open it up and at least even like take a look at where the parts are, you're essentially just buying a console, and it's in a different form. And you're never going to learn if a piece fails, you're never going to know how to check to see if that piece, which piece it was that failed, and you're going to have to take it in and spend God knows how much amount of money probably on the place that you got it from to try and get that piece repaired, and then you're going to have to do the runaround and send your whole PC in to get it looked at. Whereas, like, I know with the place that I always get my PC parts from locally, if I ever do a build, the place that I go to, you can pick all the parts yourself and then arrange for them to build the PC themselves so that you don't have to do all the scary stuff like they're saying in chat with doing thermal paste, installing fans the right way, all that stuff. Like, they'll still do all that stuff for you, and you could still pick your own parts and just buy them on your own terms type thing. But you could still arrange to have the person at the store building it. That way, if there is any dead on arrival parts, they'll find out right away, and you don't have to worry about dealing with that stuff when you get it. But I think the other thing too, I know some people have discussed it before, but even just getting the peace of mind of, like, now you know how to build a computer. So if you ever have like a relative that needs a computer, you can just go out and buy the pieces yourself for them. They're not doing gaming, they're just doing simple, like, browsing the internet, maybe watching some Netflix here and there. You have the ability to do that for them. It's just it's a good skill to have. So,
and one other thing on when you're talking about parts too, if you are going to go with a pre-built, if there's one thing you got to make sure you don't skimp on and you got to know the parts going in. You can't have a shitty motherboard,
Right.
because if your motherboard's shit, you can upgrade pretty much anything else, but your motherboard, if you got to upgrade the motherboard, you might as well build a brand new fucking computer. So if it's a shitty motherboard, which a lot of pre-builts have, especially like the Cyber PC, iBuyPower, and that sort of
Dell
stuff,
or any other
they
big
got
manufacturers.
shitty motherboards that are not very good. So you don't want to you don't have to buy a top end motherboard, but you don't want a shitty motherboard. And a lot of those pre-builts, they save money because they put shitty motherboards in there. So
I mean, when me and Vance originally built his PC, he didn't even have a graphics card in it because it was a gift to him. And my mom put up some money, and I put up some money, and I basically spent all of the money we put up on building the base. So getting a motherboard and a CPU that was worth a fuck.
Pretty much on board with these guys. I would always tell somebody to buy the parts separately and put it together. It's super easy. Not only are there tutorial videos on how to build a PC, there are tutorial videos on how to build a PC per CPU and per socket. Like, they are that detail oriented. Especially when you look at pre-builts online. A lot of them, they advertise them as coming with free keyboard and mice, and usually they're pretty shit. Like a $30 Cyber PC keyboard that has membrane switches and just like a regular gaming mouse.
But it's wireless and has lights. Okay?
Oh my, it's RGB. So if for a first PC, it'll probably do fine. But if you wanna get the best bang for your buck and the most benefit out of building your own PC and the knowledge that comes with it, I would tell you to build it.